COVID economic recovery, predicting a higher than expected GDP for this year, and a new bank targeting businesses in Ghana.
We are confident that together we will emerge from the COVID-19 pandemic with a stronger and more.
Deal was dead. Well, tonight, notice is served. The deal is coming back.
Government will come back to engage the House on the steps it intends to take on the future of the Ejapa transaction.
And Top Story is always brought to you by Gasim Cement. The nation builder Vodafone the future is exciting, and Belakwa mineral water. Tonight, President Akufo-Addo has been laying out his government's blueprint for economic recovery post the COVID-19 pandemic. In his first State of the Nation address for his second term to Parliament, delivered a couple of hours ago, the President gave details of how government plans to spend the estimated 100 billion cedi COVID-19 recovery budget.
Government is developed and is currently...
The deal that triggered the resignation of the Special Prosecutor Martin Amidou after his corruption risk assessment. Well, if you thought that deal was dead, listen to the president.
The Speaker, let me at this point
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
Minority leader on that and many others. But as you can imagine, just last week, the Supreme Court delivered the unanimous decision paving way for the president, obviously, to hold on to that victory that, of course, Electoral Commission declared post the December 7 elections. Well, the president spent some time commenting on that and the role the Supreme Court played in this.
Government and the people expect those in charge of our country.
Joy 99.7.
In a State of the Nation address about the unanimous decision of the Supreme Court and others. So what does the minority side make of this, the entire State of the Nation address? Listen to Harun Idrisu, who leads the minority in Parliament.
It was disappointing.
Joy 99.7. Joy 99.7. Joy 99.7. Joy 99.7.
former Deputy Finance Minister Keisela Tofosing joins us on the telephone line. Of course, is a very well-noted, prominent member on the minority side in the House. Also joining me is Gideon, Dr. Gideon Bwako, who is economic advisor to the Vice President and spokesperson to the Vice President as well. Thank you, gentlemen, for the time here on Top Story. I want to start with you, Mr. Tofosing, or Dr. Tofosing himself. Tell me, you listening to the President today, did he give an accurate reflection of what the state of the nation is currently for you?
Evans, thank you very much. Let me start by saying that I was personally disappointed. Disappointed in the sense that I did not see the president owning his own speech today. I mean, it was really sad that he was struggling even to pronounce certain key words in the speech. It's either he failed to prepare or he wasn't confident of some of the things that he was saying himself today. Clearly for a reason that better known to themselves. But that in itself caused for a major concern, because for a president to appear before us and not being able to own his own speech is something that we should be worried about. And then secondly, I would have thought that looking at the state of the nation today, our president would have, at a minimum, come out with a speech that will be reconciliatory. I mean, be able to bring the country together and not to use words like, they did this and I did that, and this kind of thing, and trying to do comparison on necessary things that are not really necessary. Okay, so, I mean, overall, this is my main concern. And then going into the details.
I'll come to the details shortly. Let me bring in your other colleague, Dr. Gideon Bwako, on the telephone line. Doc, you heard the president today. Of course, you are in government. What really was the overriding goal of this particular speech? Was it to tell us the state of the nation or to give us promises of what's to come in the future?
Yeah, Evans, thank you for this opportunity. I think it's not much of what my overriding goal is or was, but rather the overriding goal of what the Constitution prescribes for the president to do in a moment like this. The president is enjoined by the Constitution to present the state of the nation's address to Ghanaians through our representatives, who are the parliamentarians. That's exactly what the president did today.
I asked because we heard a lot more about the president's ambitions for the next 4 years than what the state of the nation is as of today.
Well, typically of the State of the Nation address, it's not an occasion to kind of signal so many policy directives, but to give an account of your stewardship and how far you brought the state today. And for that purpose, I think the president discharged his duties creditably. He tried as much as possible to cover so many areas. Of course, you wouldn't expect to find the president spend several hours talking about every bit of the economy. But the most essential ones, I think the president did justice to that. And he spoke as the president of the state. He spoke as a statesman. And indeed, he asserted the respectable authority that the good people of Ghana have given to him. And I think his speech was not divisive. It was very, very reconciliatory. And why he needed to make references to the previous government, he did so. It wouldn't be right for anybody to suggest that the fact that President made references to other regimes, he was not being reconciled.
You talk about reconciliation. He sounded more as if when he talked about the last, nail in the coffin of the controversy surrounding the elections in last year about the Supreme Court's verdict. It sounded as if he was rubbing it in, repeating that this was unanimous, not for a 5-4 as it did play out in 2013. That is almost rubbing it in. And at the same time, this was the president that when he started talks about working together, it appears that the minority looks at that, hears that, and say this is not a president that it's seeking to reconcile. More
But
rubbing in that I
Evans,
won, and the Supreme Court upheld it.
what else could the president have said? He spoke about a unanimous decision by the apex court of the land, and indeed, that is the fact. The decision and the verdict that was given by the Supreme Court on the 4th of March 2021 was a unanimous decision. It was a 7-0 decision. And there was no way the president could have talked about 5-4 or 3-2 decision. It was a unanimous, an unprecedented unanimous decision. And that is what the president referred to. And this is a president who has won elections with over 500,000 votes. And another side of the coin decided to challenge the validity of that elections. After several weeks of banter in the court, there is a unanimous decision by the Supreme Court of the land. A week after, the president had the opportunity to address the state and makes reference to that unanimous decision of the apex court of the land. And somebody says what?
Hold on for me, Doc. Let me bring in Dr. Tufo Singh, just briefly on this point about you didn't hear him sound conciliatory. I mean, when he spoke about the Supreme Court, where he in fact makes the point about winning unanimously and not 5-4, true, he was just stating facts, and you cannot expect the president to in fact detail what the state of the nation is without referring to that. It's a key part of what the state of our nation is right now.
Evans, let me be honest with you. The president started by saying that we should work together.
True.
But in the middle, he started throwing jabs at the opposition. I mean, the very statement that he made, that the Supreme Court indeed gave him a unanimous decision, is a fact. But was it really necessary for him to have said that not the 2013 5-4 decision? Is it necessary?
Those are facts too, I don't know.
Is it necessary? I mean, it's 5-4. Is it necessary? Is it something that you should have said that as a president? No, I don't think so. I do not believe that some of the jabs that he threw as a president of the republic, who have started a speech that you want us to work together, started throwing jabs at us. And clearly, it will call some of us also to obviously, reiterate by saying things that are not really necessary.
Let's talk about some of the specifics.
In between, let me make a point. In between, when he made a point that there are some few hospitals that are around, and someone from the backbench said that, where are they? So open your eyes. I don't think those things are necessary. I think it's important for the president to have been focused and deliver the state of the nation. And above all, what he delivered for me is not the state of the nation. It's a repetition of their manifesto promises.
Let's go into the specifics. One of the things you dropped today, many people thought Ejapa was dead. He says it's coming back to Parliament. Your reaction to that?
We are ready to resist Ejapa with all the blood in us. And I can assure you, we, the minority members of Parliament, do not believe that Ejapa deal as it stands, whether they clothe it in a different attire or whatever it is in the best interest of this country. Because the structure of the Ejapa itself is bad. The valuation, we believe that has been undervalued. The asset values in excess of 3.7 billion at the time that we valued it. And today he's saying that he's coming back to Parliament to value it at 1 billion. We think that will mean that the taxpayer has lost $2.7 billion. So in itself, that alone will not accept it. Then on the second point, why should he, as President of the Republic, things that almost everyone in this country has, condemned and asked you to withdraw, come back to Parliament and tell us that you are going to bring it back? Please, that is disrespect. Disrespect to Parliament for him to say that he's bringing it back. Something that members of Parliament have spoken vehemently against. Something that the civil society group has spoken vehemently against. Something that the special prosecutor had to resign because he believes that the structure is full of corruption, and for that matter, it should not be allowed to go. Something that Transparency International has even written to the United Kingdom authorities, and the president saying what? Bring it back, Ejapa. Please, that is disrespect. He should rather tell us that he has listened to the people of Ghana, and in the end, what he's going to do is that he has cancelled Ejapa because he believes that it should be cancelled, and not to tell us that he's coming to bring it back. But I can assure you, Evans, and we want to use this medium to assure the people of Ghana that we, the members of minority, the NDC minority, will not accept Ejapa in any form. They can decide to change the name. They can decide to give it a new color. They can decide to clothe it differently, bring it in any form. Ejapa is still Ejapa. We will not allow it to go through today or tomorrow, and we are decided and we have affirmed that we'll fight against the structure as it stands.
Dr. Gideon Bwako, this is the same deal that the president himself had to withdraw, instruct the finance minister to withdraw. Has anything changed in substance that warrants a decision to take it back to Parliament in his first year of his second term?
Yeah, I think, Evans, you're asking a very important question. I find the position of the minority on the comment by the president on the Japa deal quite disturbing. They appear to be on autopilot mode. The president only talked about something that is indicative of what is yet to come. He said that the Ejapa deal will come back to Parliament in its new form. He did not make reference to the original form of Ejapa that was, if we say, suspended or rejected by Parliament. So if the president says it is coming in its new form, why wouldn't they wait to see the new form of Ejapa, the content it contains or prescribes, before making any comment on it? What they are doing now is just to condition themselves in an autopilot mode to say that no matter what it brings, no matter what new form it's coming with, we're going to reject that. I don't think we need that as a nation. That is what the president spoke about, that we must all put our political lenses together. We may carry them anyway, but where it matters most, let us look at staffs as they are and analyze them before jumping to conclusions. I don't have any problem if, indeed, the Japadi goes back to Parliament and after thorough scrutiny, it is rejected or accepted. What is important and what every Ghanaian wants to see is that whatever policies or laws or bills that are initiated or passed by Parliament really serve the interests of the good people of Ghana. It doesn't matter where it is coming from. It doesn't matter who is saying yes or no. We really want to see proper and due diligent analysis.
Yeah, I mean, but briefly address this question for me. What is it about this deal that government wants to have it approved and executed at all costs, in spite of everything that has happened, including causing the resignation of your first special prosecutor? What is it about Ejapa that you're just so hell-bent on getting it passed by Parliament?
It is just like any other policy that if government thinks it's right, will do what it's necessary to push it.
What is right about it?
The Japa deal is part of any other policies that government would want to initiate. The president had submitted, or government had earlier submitted a deal to Parliament. There were comments about it. For some reason, the deal is taken out of Parliament. Government says we're going to bring it back in a new form. Let's wait to see what it contains. Who knows? It could be 80% change, 90% change,
Even the deal
20% change, 10% change, whatever it is.
Say that again. Just a second. Let me get clarity on this.
The deal has not been taken out of Parliament.
It hasn't been?
The MPP majority in the 7th Parliament approved it.
Yeah.
They have not come back to rescind the decision. So as it is, the government, if they want, they can go ahead with it. They are actually failing to go out to implement the Japa deal because of the public outcry and because of the various petitions that we've written against the Japa deal. So the deal, as it stands now, has been approved by Parliament.
Let
The
me,
MPP majority, the MPP majority alone, we recall the minority we boycotted and walked out. The MPP majority approved the Japa deal, and they have not rescinded the decision of Parliament as we speak now.
yeah, you raise a valid point.
Evans,
Dr. Gideon, you raise a valid point.
Evans,
There's a valid Japa deal already approved. And so the question is, why is government not simply implementing what you have if you believe in it so much?
So that tells you how thoughtful the government and the president is. If indeed it's a valid deal that has been approved, and government says that after several considerations, we want to bring it back to Parliament with certain amendments made to it for the representatives of the people to re-evaluate it and have, let's say, bipartisan decision on it. Don't you see that as a good gesture by the president?
I have a
He
few.
could easily go ahead to say that once I have the authorization of Parliament, whether it is only minority decision or majority or both, I'm going ahead to implement. But this is a listening government who says that after getting authorization from Parliament, I want to bring it back to Parliament for reassessment.
I have a few minutes, and I want to give that. I have a few minutes. Dr. Ataforson, there's another substantive part of the State of the Nation address about the economy and post-COVID. He gave us a bit of detail now about how the 100 billion CD Ghana Cares money will be used, including, he says, expenditure on agriculture, the development bank, but most importantly, he says he's very confident that Ghana would by the end of this year grow just around 5%, more than the World Bank, IMF, and everybody else is predicting. You share it in government's confidence?
Evans, let me say this. I do not see the details the president actually provided in his State of the Nation address as a detail for the 100 billion Ghana cedis CARES program. I do not see that as a detail. He only mentioned headline areas where they intend to spend the money. He failed to give us allocation, how much is spending on each sector and over what span in terms of time frame, 4 years, 2 years, 1 year, which one is coming first, how much. All those details are actually lacking. Probably we are waiting. Maybe the budget statement may capture that. We are waiting, and I can assure you we'll probe that in detail and want to know how they are going to finance it.
5% GDP by end of year, you think it's possible?
So, because we know the public debt today is 297 billion Ghana cedis. We know, as of December last year, 297 billion Ghana cedis, almost 78% of GDP. Yes, strangely, the president, for the first time, he failed to mention the public debt in his State of the Nation address. Ghanaians don't know how much we owe. He failed to mention that. And he went on to speak about the economy. Yes, he said the IMF had projected that the sub-Saharan African growth on average is going to be 3-point-something%. But that is average. Ghana, we've traditionally grown above sub-Saharan African average. I mean, if you look at the numbers, it will point to the fact that in the last 10 years, we have almost all the time grew above the sub-Saharan average, even in times of difficulties. It is there. So I'm not surprised that government is saying they are going to grow about 5%. I only hope that the assumption behind the 5% growth is realistic and that we are going to achieve. Because if you fail to come out with realistic forecasts, it will affect all the indices in the course of the year. So let's hope that that is what it is. But I can assure you, the budget is coming.
Yeah.
We are going to spend some time during the debate. We are going to critique the budget very well. I mean, look at the numbers and make sure each and everything actually tallies, and where it doesn't tally, will raise concern.
Yeah, I mean,
but in the end, we are going to work in the interest.
Dr. Boako, in a minute, in a post-COVID environment, where is government getting this 100 billion from to fund this post-COVID economic revival?
Well, government already has started several resource allocations towards the funding of COVID mitigation measures. Some of them are donation, others are just debt procured by the government. Government is also making the bold step for this Ghana Cares project, which is going to cost about 100 billion cedis. Of course, we couldn't or we can't do this without some element of borrowing. So that may come. But let me hasten to say that the sounding of the details of all these indications that President gave and the policy directions for the year are coming in just 3 days' time during the reading of the budget statement by the finance minister on behalf of the president. And so the details are going to be outlined as are too indicated in the budget statement. The president today was giving the State of the Nation address and had to give indications of one or two policy initiatives.
So we can expect the details on Friday. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Dr. Ato Forsing, former Deputy Finance Minister, Dr. Gideon Bwako, his advisor to the Vice President, and speaks for him as well. Grateful that you join me. Newsnight starts right now.